Hi everyone, it is Karen here with you today, and today I'm going to share with you a project that I have made for Creative Warriors. So I'm starting off in my small Dilutions journal, and I've got a really cool cocktail serviette here that I've just peeled the back two layers off, so that I've just got the front bit. And I'm just ripping that up a little bit so that I can glue it into my book. I'm using a liquid gel medium because it's a little bit easier to work with when you're using such a fine tissue. And you can kind of see that I still managed to put some holes in it because it was actually quite delicate when I pulled it apart. So yeah, I've got a couple of little holes, so that kind of dictated as to where my image was going to go. So my image here is from the BU collection from Michelle Grant Designs. Excuse me. And I've just printed it out onto 200 GSM digital printing paper from Officeworks and then cut her out. Yeah, so she's pretty cool. So what I'm doing here is I'm just adding in a little bit more colour into my background. So I've got my Gansey Tambi watercolours here out because they just happen to be right beside me. And I've just added in a couple of colours that were in the serviettes into my background. So now I have a Beati stencil here, which is full of really pretty vines and leaves, and I really like it, so I wanted to put that into the background. But I used white, so you really can't see it very much. It is there, but it's very subtle. So now I'm just going to glue my image into my book, and I'm just gluing her on the back just with some art glitter glue, which is my favourite glue because it dries so clear and you don't get globs of stuff everywhere. It's awesome stuff. So I've got her glued in, and I've also added a little bit of gesso underneath for her body. Now I have had these Jane Davenport Matchmaker paints for quite a while, and I decided, well, let's use them to make some skin colour, so that's what I'm doing today. However, I've had them for so long that yeah, they're kind of gone a little bit gluggy. Oh well. But it still works. So I'm just mixing up a bit of skin colour here, and what I had was a little bit dark, so I've just added in a little bit more of the paler colour and added some water to it to thin it down a little bit because because it's old, it's gone a bit clumpy, so that's a bit of a shame. So I guess it just goes to prove if you buy stuff, you should use it. Alright, so now I'm just starting to paint in the skin on my lady, and I'm just using a little bit of water as well to help with the paint because it's a bit, as I said, gluggy, just to help get a nice coverage. But yeah, it turns out quite a little bit patchy, so I'm going to get that dry. And then I'm going to add in another layer. So yeah, so that kind of made it look a little bit better. But I think what I will do is, because it's so patchy, this is what I was thinking at the time, that I'll come in with some pastels and I can tidy her up later. So now, because I've got some white edges around my image, I decided to grab out my watercolours again and just blend those little bits back into the background a little bit more by adding in some other colours. So yeah, so she kind of looks like, yeah, better just by adding that little bit of water colour paint around the edges of the white card where I hadn't cut it so close. So now I've got out my Intense pencils and just adding in some colour to the features of her face, so some pink lips, some bluey greeny eyes, and I'm going to colour in the flowers as well. So that pencil that I've got there is fuchsia, and this one I think is violet, and when I wet them you can see how vibrant they actually become. They're so pretty. And the other thing is, like, when they dry, it's actually kind of permanent, so they're not going to reactivate again if you add some more water to it. So yeah, they're really cool. So I'm just adding in the colours just into some of the flowers in her little headdress there. Yeah, making it pretty. So now I've got out a chocolate brown, so I can do a hair, and I've got a little bit too much on one side there, but I will lighten that off. And how I'm going to lighten it off is just by wetting my brush and wiping the colour away. There you go, you see me do it there. So yeah, so that looks better. So now I've got a green pencil, and I'm just putting in some of the leaves in the headdress, activating them with a little bit of water so that they stand out. She's starting to look quite cool, except her skin is a bit of a mess. So let's see if we can fix that up. So I've grabbed out my hard pastels this time, and these are the Conti Paris ones. And I bought my set from Jackson's in the UK. So and yeah, I had them sent over here, and they were quite reasonable actually. So I got the big full set. I don't know if they still have the full set available on the Jackson's website, but the postage was not very much at all. So Jackson's is quite a good place to look at if you're after some art supplies. Okay, so I've got her skin fairly well patched up now. So I've just grabbed out my Prismacolor pencils, because Prismas and pastels just go together like, I don't know, bickies and cheese. So yeah, I'm just adding in a few different highlights around her face, creating a little bit more shadow, adding some more depth in, giving her some eyebrows, some eyeshadow, adding in some white pencil for some highlights. But I managed to add in a little bit too much, so I had to grab another pastel out to fix that bit up. So she's looking much better. So that spray that I've just sprayed on there was a workable fixative. So that was just to help to keep the pastels in place, because I knew that I wanted to come back in with my black pen in a little bit to help bring some of those details back in of her face that I've gone over. But in the meantime, I've got my Posca paint pen and just doing some highlights and whatnot. And now I've got my black, it's just a uni rollerball pen, and I'm just adding in the details around her eyes, her pupils and whatnot, her lips, her nose, and the little headband, adding in some eyelashes. And yeah, she's looking really, really pretty now. So that adding in the extra lines over the top has really helped. So because I thought she was looking a bit naked, I thought I'd use this stencil here from Kinda Creations and give her a little bit of a outfit. But I couldn't actually find the paste that I was after, but I've got this unicorn paste here from Finnabar, so I decided to use that. However, I forgot that it dried clear and I thought, well, I better add some colour into it. So I've got out some Colour Blast mica powder here in blush, and I've just sprinkled that on to the dress part, so she kind of looks like she's got a dress. It looks better wet than what it actually does when it's dry. So it's a bit of a shame that it didn't stay that pearly colour, because I think that would have looked better. I've also added in some gold mica as well. So now I'm going to try and write my quote without sticking my hand in the wet paste, and it just says, "A beautiful day starts with a beautiful mindset." So there you go. So here's a bit of a close-up, so you can see her face actually worked out quite well in the end. So yay, I was happy about that. Yeah, so I hope I have inspired you to get creating with some of Michelle's beautiful images. And till next time, I'll see you later. And please like and subscribe if you're not already on my channel. That would be awesome. Thank you so much. See you later. Bye.